This video is brought to you by Card Kingdom, and while supplies last, if you mention Saffron Olive in your order notes, we'll hook you up with a free Saffron Olive sticker with any Card Kingdom order.
Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Abrew About Nothing. So last week, during our It's Their Deck Tax, it was 5-color birds for Modern that came out on top. So today, we are heading to Modern to see if we can honk, I guess, our way through a Modern League, pick up some wins with one of the less likely tribes. I guess calling it a tribal deck, it's a bit of a stretch. We got a lot of birds, but really, if we have a tribe, our tribe is flying creatures. We're like a 5-color flying creature tribal deck with a bunch of birds thrown in. So, like usual, gonna do a quick refresher deck tech. If you want the full breakdown, make sure to check out the instant deck tech for 5-color birds. And then we'll jump right into the gameplay, see how the deck actually works in practice. Before we do, a super quick reminder, if you haven't already, it would be so sweet of you if you could take a second, click that subscribe button down at the bottom of your screen. It's a great way to support the channel and the site for free. So let's talk 5-color birds for Modern, starting with our birds. Well, some of our birds. In the 1-drop slot, we got Gilded Goose, Birds of Paradise. These cards accelerate us into our bigger play. They are flying creatures that technically don't have power, but with the help of some of our other creatures can gain power. So fixes our mana, ramps us into our bigger play, goes on the beatdown later in the game. Then we kind of have our payoffs for playing this deck full of flyers. Empyrean Eagle is just a lord for all of our flyers. Happens to be a bird as well, so all of a sudden our Gilded Goose can attack our Birds of Paradise, makes our other flyers even bigger, and then Pride of Clouds is just massive. It's like our flying Tarmogoyf gets +1/+1 for each other creature with flying in play. So with all the cheap flyers in our deck, it's often like a 4/4, a 5/5. And being a flyer, it means it closes out the game super quickly in the air. Then we have our disruptive flyers, I guess. Mausoleum Wander, just a 4 spike on a stick, comes down cheap for 1 mana, also a flyer to beat down. And then Brazen Bar gives us a bounce spell that can also be a reasonably on-curve flying threat. Selfless Spirit protects our team from Wrath, Angers of the Gods, Supreme Verdicts, whatever, can even just fizzle a targeted removal spell on one of our better flyers if we want to. Then we have kind of our payoff beatdown flyers. Mantis Rider can come down as early as turn 2 with the help of our Gilded Goose or Birds of Paradise, and is just a really decent threat. Hitting for 3 in the air with Vigilance, so it's back on defense, benefiting from our lords. And then Avian Mimeomancer, a little bit slow, but on each of our upkeeps, it can turn a creature into a 3/1 with flying. So all of a sudden, our 0/1 Birds of Paradise is a 3/1 beater. Our 0/2 Gilded Goose becomes a 3/1 to attack our opponent, plus it still benefits from our lords. Otherwise, we have Unsettled Mariner, which is weird. Technically, it is a bird, but it doesn't have flying. But mostly, it's another way to protect our team from removal, making it cost 1 more to target our stuff, and it kind of protects our face a little bit as well, since it costs more to target us too. Otherwise, in our spell slot, we have 3 Collected Companies, basically just 2 birds for the price of 1 at instant speed, force a negation to fight against the unfair decks. In the mana base, some fetch lands, we have some of the canopy lands, some fast lands, some basic lands, some shock lands. Not going to talk about every single one. It is just a wacky variety of all types of dual lands to try to make the 5-color mana base work, but really, we're leaning pretty heavily on Gilded Goose and Birds of Paradise. Then we have our sideboard. In the sideboard, a bunch of removal options. Deputy of Detention gets a bunch of anything. Celestial Purge for red or black things. Some life gain and Blessed Alliance and life goes on. Collected Company, good against control, instant speed 2/1. Selfless Seer to protect our team for Wraths and Sweepers. Some more counter spells. Collector Roof if we run into Urza decks, other artifact-based decks. And that is 5-color birds for Modern. And that's our Much Abrew deck for this week. So let's jump into the gameplay, see if we can honk our way to some victories with Gilded Goose and Birds of Paradise and friends. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoy it. And I will talk to you soon. Alright. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are playing some 5-color birds in Modern. And this hand, I guess we'll keep it. We're missing a 1-drop. And we have the most painful mana base in the history of Modern. But we have some powerful flyers. Opponent, Forest, and passes. Well, Botanical Sanctum, go. So many 3-drops. Opponent, Forest again, and Sakura Tribe Elder. Alright, well, we just gotta kill our opponent quick, I guess. Oh boy. Gilded Goose. Really? Really? Where were you last turn? Pride of the Clouds. Pass the turn. Is there any way we can race this? We will see. Oh, it would have been so much easier if we had Goose on 1, 3-drop on 2. Mono green, what is happening? Opponent. Another forest. Eternal Witness. Gonna get back Secure Tribe Elder. Sure. And passes. Well, Plight is lit. Blue, white, red. Mantis Rider. Combat. Hit you for 5. Pass the turn. Opponent. Secure Tribe Elder. Sure. And passes. Well, blue, white, and also red. Mantis Rider. Hit you for 9 past the turn. Opponent sacks. Yep. Well, here comes 9 at the phase. And, I mean, it seems like this might be working out. We have the Force Negation if there's something bad for us. And opponent, okay, scoops it up. I don't know what exactly is going on there, but we will take it. I'm assuming we want Disdainful Stroke. I'm assuming it's like land destruction? Some sort of, I don't know. I don't know what our opponent's doing. I actually have basically no idea. Let's go up Disdainful Stroke, go up Collected Company, go down Unsettled Mariner. Run it like that in the dark, since we just really don't know. Okay, I like this hand. Turn 1 birds, turn 2 birds. No one plays Aven Mimeomancer except us, apparently. Into Pride of the Clouds. And Force Negation to stop something very broken from happening. Force for our opponent. And Arbor Elf, sure. Well, Razorverge Thicket, Bird's Paradise, go. Force for our opponent. Arbor Elf. That's a lot of ramp. Opponent passes. Ooh, Coco. I'll play Razorverge Thicket. Blue, white, whatever. Aven Mimeomancer. Pass the turn. The only good news is our opponent's only got 3 cards in hand. Taps, untaps. Taps. Untaps. Yes. Acid Moss. Exile Brazen Borrower. None of that, please. Opponent, passing. Well, turn on our Birds of Paradise. Play Flooded Strand. Crack this. Ugh. Steam Vents, untapped. Go to combat, get him with Mimeomancer. We couldn't run out Mantis Rider and attack with the bird, so I think this is fine. Just trust our Cocos are good. Opponent, tapping, untapping. Tapping, untapping. We going land destruction again? Alright. Well, we will Collected Company. Whew. Empyrean Eagle. Empyrean Eagle. Oh, this is Bird Tribal to the max. Is this lethal? It's lethal! It's Mimeomancer lethal. Yes, we will turn... Okay, that's the power of the birds. That's the power. Look at that. That is Bird Tribal. Bird Tribal, and there's even bird payoffs. Okay, that was good. That was about as good as it gets for birds, I think. That is the power. I mean, yes, our opponent was a little bit land destructing-y, did a little bit of mulliganing, but that's a turn 4 kill with Empyrean Eagles, Birds of Paradise, Mimeomancers. That was pretty sweet. That was sweet. Sweet. All right. Much brew about nothing time. We are playing 5-color birds in Modern. One of the least likely pseudo-tribal decks I think that's ever been. Like, who would have thought that birds would be a thing? It's a bit of a stretch because we're not all birds, but flying tribal at least. And then as I say that, we have Unsettled Mariner, our one non-flying creature in hand. Do we keep this? We have defense for unfair decks. Both of our Force Negations, our clock isn't super fast. Yeah, we're going to keep it. I mean, hopefully we're in a matchup where Force Negation's good. If it's some sort of like creature deck, it's going to be sad, but okay. Fire Islet's fine. That's a good sign that hopefully these Force Negations are reasonable. Let's think about this. Yeah, let's just Horizon Canopy, Birds of Paradise. Go. If Birds lives, we can... Oh, it's Death Shadow. Okay. All right. I mean, our Force Negation should be okay. If Birds lives, we can Mausoleum Wander plus Pride of Clouds next turn. And that's a clock. That's a clock. That is a bird clock. Bonnet. I think a bigger question is, are we going to Force of Negation if they try to kill birds? Bloodstained Mire. Bonnet. Cracks it. Watery Grave. Untap. Down to 14. Getting close to Death Shadow Life. Dismembers down to 10. We really kind of want that to live. Yeah, let's force. Pitching Unsettled Mariner. And Death Shadow. Because it exiles, our opponent doesn't have enough cards for Gurmag Angler. Upside of our Force Negation. I guess that's another argument for it. It does keep our opponent from playing Angler this turn. I mean, with our opponent being down to 9, we mostly just want to try to close out this game quickly if possible. Ooh, Mantis Rider. Oh, Flooded Strand. Crack it. Take, let's see. Oh, boy. We need something with blue. Blue, white. This needs red. Let's take Steam Vents. Untapped. Play Mausoleum Wanderer. Play Pride of the Clouds. And I think this sets us up to potentially win next turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if the battlefield stays the same, we don't have to pitch this Mantis Rider. We have 8 points of damage. Our opponent's at 9. Close to being able to win next turn. I think this is better than just Mantis Ridering. Opponent's going to Thought Seize. Okay. Can take the Force or the Mantis Rider. So we're not going to win next turn, but this puts our opponent down to 7. They take our Mantis Rider. Blood Crypt. Untapped to 5. They must have removal. Gurmag Angler, sure. Opponent, passing. Oh, Spirit. Draw Spirit. Draw Flyer. We're actually really close to winning still. Sacred Foundry. Well, go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. Down to 1. And pass the turn. All right, opponent, can you kill us? Opponent untaps. 1 life. We're at 15. We have 2 lethal threats. We got a Force Negation. Is this enough for the birds to take down the win? Hopefully. And opponent scoops it up. Cannot overcome the birds, and that went pretty well. I mean, our opponent helped us along the path to killing them by spending like 10 life, but that's kind of what Death Shadow does. All right, we're going to bring in Celestial Purge, Blessed Alliance. Blessed Alliance, hilarious against our opponent's deck because it can make our opponent gain life. So it's a way we can potentially kill a Death Shadow by making our opponent gain life. I'm almost wondering if we cut the Force of Negations. This is not the kind of unfair matchup where Force of Negation is at its best. I think we'd rather have Purge, Blessed Alliance, and then... what else can we cut? Probably one Mimeomancer. Deputy of Detention, no. Disdainful Stroke, probably not. Could bring in another Coco. It might be too slow. All right, run it like that. This seems fine. We have a lot of sideboard cards for the Urza matchup. This is interesting. Goose, double Empyrean Eagle, bird, and then also Honorary Bird, Mausoleum Wanderer. Yeah, seems fine. This is a hand that actually could use a Collected Company. We'll see how much we get torn apart by discard. That's usually the question against Death Shadow. Death Shadow just has so much discard. Alright, opponent, swamp, and discard. Part 1, Inquisition. Kind of interesting. Do they take Goose so we can't ramp into Eagle, or do they just take a payoff? Without knowing our opponent's hand, I assume you just take a Empyrean Eagle. Especially since we have another 1-drop. It's not like you keep us from doing anything next turn. You just slow down potentially Empyrean Eagle. Ooh, interesting. Takes Mausoleum Wanderer. Well, I assume that means they can kill our Goose? Blessed Alliance is a sneaky good draw. Well, honk honk, play Goose. Get a food. Yum. Pass the turn. What you got, opponent? Mishra's Bauble. Islet. Islet, I guess, technically. Cracks the Bauble, takes a peek. Thought Seize. Well, okay. Opponent's down to, well, I guess 3 cards, because they're going to get a Bauble card, but... Blessed Alliance does get a little worse if our opponent knows about it. We mostly want to just keep drawing threats, I think. See if they can also kill our Goose. Takes Blessed Alliance. And passes. Draws a card. Well, play the island, run out, Empyrean Eagle, part 1, bird number 2, pass the turn. It's like a Hitchcock movie. Opponent, cycles, down to 16. Horizon Canopy is not the worst land to draw. Worst case, that means we get to get a new card. I'll look at something at some point. Although next turn, if nothing goes wrong, we're definitely just playing Eagle part 2, swinging with the bird crew. Opponent, Thought Scours. Mills a couple lands. Bloodstained Mire. Cracks it. Watery Grave. untap down to 12. I guess the question is there a chance we just get, okay, Fatal Push? Do they also have Death Shadow? Alright. Well, the question's going to be, can they just jank us out with Death Shadow? Opponent passing. We draw nothing. Well, play Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. Take a Steam Vents. Untapped. Empyrean Eagle. I'm not even sure. Do we get in with the Goose? Yeah, let's not this turn. Pass the turn. I mean, our opponent's down to one single card. If we can get rid of this Death Shadow somehow, opponent cashes in their land, draws a card. Back up to 3 cards in hand. Another Islet. Ooh, another Death Shadow. Yeah. And passes. We draw more lands. Well, play Horizon Canopy. Crack Horizon Canopy. Play another Goose. Ugh. I don't know about this. Our clock is not that fast, and our opponent's got 2 Death Shadows, so when they start losing life, this is going to get bad quick. Opponent cracks their Islet, draws a card. Oh, we could use a Collected Company so much. Polluted Delta, that can grow the shadows. So I think our hope is our opponent gets themselves low enough that we can get in a surprise attack in the air to win the game. Opponent combat. Attacks with both. Okay, let's take it. We're hoping we get our opponent into, like, Mantis Rider range. We drop to 15. Opponent does not crack. Opponent passes. Ooh, more lands, not great. Yeah, we can't really attack. And we're flooding out, also not great. Yeah, pass the turn. Well, this is far from ideal to have this many lands. Opponent, considering their options. Maybe we should have brought in the 4th Coco. Probably would have been good this game. Opponent cracks. Watery Grave. They're going for it. Untap down to 9. Snapcaster. Ooh, for Fatal Push, kill our Eagle. Yep, okay. That's also not good. Oh, we really need to draw a Collected Company, I think, to have a chance. Blood Crypt. Untap, down to 7. Fatal Pushes our Eagle. Goes to combat. Attacks with both. Ooh, yeah. Nah, alright. So now we gotta do a sad goose chump. Crack Misty. Temple Garden. Tapped. Block with a Goose. Make a food. Take a bunch. Alright, deck. Alright, deck. It's your time to shine. Give us that Coco, please. Oh, man. That Blessed Alliance would have been insane this game. Mausoleum Wanderer. I'll play Mausoleum Wanderer. Play a Plains. Pass the turn. We're basically just trying to hold on because there's some weird world where we draw Collected Company and hit like 2 Mantis Riders and just win. That's not impossible. So we're just trying to stall out in hopes of a bird-saving top deck. Bloodstained Mire. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. 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 So let's see. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, so we will just block with a Goose. Oh, we got a double block, don't we? If we don't block, we die. We need our opponent to crack this fetch. Goes up to 9 power. Yeah, alright. Yeah, this is what we got. Make a food. Stuff dies. Yeah. Now I'm not sure if we have a path to victory. We can crack a food, gain some life. I don't even think Collected Company does it now. Unsettled Mariner, that doesn't do it. All right. Well, that was a little land heavy. The birds don't like the land. They're more of an airbound creature. Too many lands for the birds. Yeah, let's go down one more Unsettled Mariner, I guess. Run it like that. Bring in the last Collected Company, which would have been great that game. We're on the play, which is nice. Let's get a nice bird hand here. Well, okay. We have action. We don't have lands, which is a bit of a concern. But we do have 2 mana dorks. However, if this game is spent with our mana dorks dying and we don't draw lands, that's gonna go bad quick. We really need to draw lands. Birds of Paradise. But it's hard to pass up Celestial Purge, a bunch of action, and Collected Company. In most matchups, I'd feel better about it, but Death Shadow is just like removal tribal. Bobble. Cracks Bobble. Peaks. Bloodstained Mire. Cracks Bloodstained Mire. Watery Grave. Untapped. And Inquisition. Alright. Well, now our opponent knows to kill our birds. Please, please lands, please lands, please lands. Opponent gets to take something. They can take Goose and try to cut off our mana. Celestial Purge is probably our best card because it kills their threats. Yeah, they take the Purge. All right. Opponent passes. land off the top one time? No. Well, maybe bringing in all the collected companies was not the best plan. Goose, go. No removal, please. No removal, please. Anything but removal. Oh, no. Last game we drew like so many lands and made the collected companies look very appealing. But this game, we're drawing many collected companies, but not many lands. Opponent, down to 15. Plays a land. Thought Scours. Mills some cards. And what you got, opponent? Gurmag Angler? Yup. All right, give us a land. Give us a land for this Coco while our opponent's tapped out. Opponent passes. Come on, deck. You can do it. Mausoleum Wanderer. Well, this is not good. Selfless Spirit. Pass the turn. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Huh. Okay. Opponent untaps. Well, we're not exactly where we want to be. Where we want to be is not stuck on mana. Swamp for our opponent. Now these collected companies are going to get a lot worse because Stubborn Denial could be a thing. Although I don't know if our opponent can leave them in. Not many, at least. We're a pretty creature-y deck. And they took the Purge. Opponent. What do you got? What do you got? Oh, for the want of a land. If we had drawn one more land, this hand would have actually been super good. Thoughtseize. All right. Can see our pile of collected companies that we can't cast. Enjoy. Opponent drops to 12, takes a Coco. Combat. Opponent gets in for 5. We will take it. Down to 12. Yup. Opponent passes. We draw a Gilded Goose. Well, we will play Mausoleum Wanderer, go to combat, attack with Selfless Spirit, hit our opponent down to 10. Pride of the Clouds. Pass the turn. Opponent. Fatal Push. Well, sack Selfless Spirit. Save our Pride of the Clouds. Opponent untaps. Ooh, I don't like where we're at, though. We just have not... Oh, boy, this went so backwards. Did not bring in Coco, flooded out. Brought in the extra Coco. One land. Opponent, combat. Attacks. Yeah. We take a million. Down to 6. Opponent. Colligan's command. Well, we will sack Mausoleum Wanderer, counter it. If our opponent can give Gurmag Angler double strike, we're going to die here. Actually, maybe we're not. Interesting. Well, okay. Do we want to play another goose? Play a goose. Make a food. Grow the Pride of Clouds. Wow, Brazen Borrower was a draw. Sack the food. Borrow that Gurmag Angler. Go to combat. Hit our opponent. Oh, we're so close. Hit our opponent. Down to 5. Untaps. Oh, man, with one land, is there hope? Is there hope? We need this Pride of Clouds to live, though. Opponent. All right, what do you got? Oh, this collected company's been so bad. Like, so bad. We're still on 2 mana. Opponent. If they just run out Angler again, and we draw land in Brazen Borrower, this is 5 power, and that would become lethal if it lives. Opponent knows our hand is pretty dead. Opponent passing. Alright. Well, Unsettled Mariner. Down to 4. Opponent's going to Snapcaster for Fatal Push. Oh, yep. Well, there goes our threat. Oh, man. If we had drawn one more land, I think we win this game. But we have just been so stuck on mana this entire game and drawn most of our most expensive cards. Oh, we need to be able to get down this Brazen Borrower. Opponent. Death Shadow. That's massive. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Blood Crypt. Tapped. Opponent. Goes to combat. Passes. We untap. We draw the world's most painful land. We pass the turn. Opponent cracks their land, draws a card. We finally drew land number 2 on turn 7. 7! That's a lot of draw steps without hitting a land. Opponent. I mean, we're dead to double strike. Can't do anything about it. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. Yep. Well, we will block with a goose. And they have it. Yep. Well, that was a lot of turns without drawing land number 2. And unfortunately drawing a lot of collected company. Wow. All right. Fair enough. All right. Much brew about nothing time. We are playing some mulligans in Modern, 5-color birds in Modern, and alright, this one will keep. This is a Magic card hand. We are on the draw, unfortunately, but we'll put, let's see, Temple Garden to the bottom. Yeah, see what our opponent's up to. Opponent, once upon a time, gets a Ranger Captain of Eos. Temple Garden, untapped, and Giver of Runes. Well, Flooded Strand, crack it. Take a Breeding Pool, untapped, and Bird's Paradise. Go. Well, we're going to have to try to fly over before our opponent can beat us down on the ground. Opponent. Oh, they're comboing. Oh, dear. Okay, we're probably dead next turn. Well, Hallowed Fountain, untapped. Play Mausoleum Wanderer. Play Pride of the Clouds. Pass the turn. So if our opponent has... we have a clock, but our opponent can just go infinite, potentially. And we don't have a way to break that up. Misty Rainforest for our opponent. Cracks it. So yeah, if our opponent finds a Vizier, they have infinite mana. Down to 14. Taps Ranger Captain of Eos. Gonna do some tutoring for a Walking Ballista. Oh, so this means... Okay, Giver of Runes. So they don't have it this turn, but they still have a clock. Play Razorverge Thicket. Play Empyrean Eagle. Go to combat. Attack. This is it. Can you kill this opponent? Can you go infinite? We know you got the Ballista in hand. Can you make infinite mana? We got you dead to rights next turn. Let's see it. Opponent untaps. 3 cards in hand. 1 is the Walking Ballista. What are the other 2? Do they win our opponent the game? Desperation cracking, please. Not a Vizier. Not a Vizier. Anything but a Vizier. Opponent untaps. Taps. Once upon a time. Looking for the Vizier. Do they have the mana? Well, we'll see. Opponent. Do they find their infinite combo? And opponent scoops it up. And the birds got there. Whoo! That was scary, but we got there. We were able to get there. Thank goodness. Unfortunately. Now, I guess we bring in deputies. Bring in deputies, go down Unsettled Mariners. Disdainful Stroke doesn't do anything. Force of Negation's kind of medium. It can hit some tutoring effects. So we have Brazen Borrower Deputy. All right, run it like that. That shows the fast clock that the birds can put forth. The birds can deal a lot of damage really quickly. That's the upside of the deck. And it's evasive. That's the other upside of the deck. The downside of the deck is, in some matchups in specific, it's not especially disruptive. So it leaves us in a position where sometimes it feels like we're just crossing our fingers and praying to the magic gods that we don't get comboed off. This is a clock. We're not a disruptive deck, but this is a clock that can get in a lot of damage, and we can stop, Collected Companies. Court of Callings. Opponent doing some mulliganing, looking for their combo with the help of the London Mulligan rule. Yeah, let's just Razorverge Thicket, Gilded Goose. Pass the turn. Plains for our opponent. Devoted Druid. Opponent passing. Play Waterlogged Grove. Play Mausoleum Wanderer. Play Pride of Clouds. Are we dead? Opponent. Taps untaps. 3 mana. 4 mana. Ballista X2. Okay. Kills Mausoleum Wanderer. Yep. Opponent passing. Well, we untap. Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. Take a Steam Vents. Untapped. Red. Blue. White. Empyrean Eagle. Get in for 5. Hit our opponent. Down to 15. Opponent untaps. What do you got? Birds of Paradise. 2 cards in hand. What are they? No Vizier. No Vizier. Opponent. Passing. Okay. Ooh, Deputy. Well, that doesn't really work because of Giver of Runes. So let's just red, blue, white, Empyrean Eagle. Combat. Attack. All we can do is keep the pressure on. That's all we can do. Keep the pressure on. Try to get there before our opponent draws their combo piece. Opponent drops to 3. All right, we have lethal next turn. Can our opponent combo us off? Opponent untaps. No Vizier. No Vizier. No Vizier. No Vizier. And opponent scoops it up, and the birds got there. Okay, that was good. That was good. Oh man, it's a frightening matchup with that devoted druid sitting out there and knowing that at any time our opponent is a single good draw away from killing us, but the bird clock is evasive and it is fast and it worked there. It worked there. Sweet, 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 sweet. All right, much brew about nothing time. We are playing 5-color birds in Modern, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what our opponent's up to. Well, we're going to keep this, again, it's becoming a tradition. 1 land, 1,000,000 mana birds. We'll see. We'll see. We'll trust in the magic gods that this works out. Although, a little bit nervous. Ziggurat for our opponent. Well, our birds aren't going to die. Noble Hierarch. And we draw land, which is nice. Misty Rainforest. Crack Misty Rainforest. We will take Breeding Pool. Untapped, and Birds of Paradise. I think our biggest advantage in this matchup is our creatures are going to fly, and our opponents, for the most part, are not against humans. Opponent's going to have more disruption. Oh, please play. Ooh, Charming Prince. Interesting. Going to do a bit of scrying, sure. Oh, opponent's kept a 1-lander. Scries 2 to the bottom. That's probably bad news for our opponent. Well, we will. Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. We will continue to shock ourselves, I think, with a Temple Garden. We will play Birds of Paradise. We will play Gilded Goose. Make a food. We will play Mausoleum Wanderer. And the birds are on the loose. We have birds for days, and we can follow this up with Empyrean Eagle and Pride of Clouds if we want to. Opponent. Champion of the Parish. Certainly. And another one. Yep. Opponent. Gets in. Sure. We take 3 down to 11. Opponent passes. So, let's see. Play Horizon Canopy. Play Empyrean Eagle. Play Pride of Clouds. Play Gilded Goose. Get in for 3. That's an 8/8 Pride of Clouds on turn 3. All right, humans, do your worst. Our hand is empty. We have run it all out. Our cards are on the table. Can you overcome the birds? This is literally a horror movie. The birds are all flocking in on the humans. I swear I saw a movie of this. Opponent. What do you got? What do you got? 2 mana. Phantasmal Image. Copies Pride of the Clouds. Yeah, that is annoying, just because it's big. Although, ours is bigger. Opponent passes. Wow, another Empyrean Eagle. Yeah. Is this lethal? Empyrean Eagle. So if we attack with everything, yeah. So let's see. Opponent has to block here. Attack, 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 attack. Opponent blocks here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Actually, let's go this way, in case there's some weirdness. All right, this forces the chump block. Wow, what a scary start for the birds. And opponent just scoops it up. Scoops it up. Okay. Birds beat humans, apparently. At least in this one game they do. Sideboard-wise, I guess we bring in deputies and go down Unsettled Mariners. Our opponent doesn't really do much targeting of our stuff. And then, do we want Collected Company Part 3? Force Negation's also very bad. So, we can bring in the Collected Company, and maybe like a Blessed Alliance is kind of removal. Actually, maybe we go both Blessed Alliances and go down 1 Mausoleum Wanderer. Our opponent just doesn't play that many spells. Humans is definitely a creature-y creature deck. Well, that was an extremely impressive bird's hand. Does not get much better than that start. I mean, I think that really shows the power of this deck. Like, very, very scary start. Just bird, 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 lord, lord, lord. Play a 9/9 flyer, an 11/11 flyer, whatever, beat you down. Yeah, all right. We will keep this. 1 land again, which is kind of becoming a tradition, but 2 mana birds. Opponent. Ether Vial. 2 deputies are sneaky good, I think. Botanical Sanctum and Birds of Paradise. We would like to draw land, though. That would be optimal. Opponent taking up the Vial. And Ziggurat. And Thalia's Lieutenant. Oh, opponent's got the Wombo combo. All right, give us lands. Give us lands. That's a land. So let's Flooded Strand. How do we want to do this? Let's play Gilded Goose. pass the turn, Brazen Borrow or something. And then next turn we can start Deputy of Detentioning, I think. If we wait one more turn on Deputy, there's a chance our opponent plays 2 of the same thing and we get even more value. Huh. Alright. Well, that kind of backfired. Now we can't even cast our spell. Opponent, combat. Gets in for 6. Ew. Well, crack this. Yeah, that wasn't great by any stretch. Take a Sacred Foundry. Tapped. Yeah, I was not expecting our opponent to leave in Thalia against us, honestly. Mantis Rider. Well, play a Deputy of Detention. Get rid of Thalia's Lieutenant. Pass the turn. This does turn on Reflector Mage. I don't know. We might have butchered this. We might have just... maybe we should have played around Thalia. I was just not expecting Thalia to still be in the deck after our opponent saw our Game 1 deck. If this is Reflector... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. And I think we're actually just straight up dead here. Gets back Thalia's Lieutenant. Grows all the dorks again. Yeah, that's game. All right. Well, I think maybe we played that slightly wrong. I honestly just... I figured that Thalia would be the first card our opponent would side out because it is very bad against our deck. Like, we're all creatures. We're playing 35 creatures in the main or something. So I'm surprised it was left in. It doesn't block our air creatures. It doesn't stop most of our decks. So, all right, we will put a Gilded Goose to the bottom. Waterlog Grove. Gilded Goose. Pass the turn. If our opponent leads on Ether Vial, I think we just Deputy it. Cavern. On. Human. And. There's the Vial. Opponent passing. Well, Flooded Strand. Crack it. Take a Plains. Yeah, we're just going to Deputy. Get rid of the Vial. Deputy the Vial. Pass the turn. Opponent. Cavern Part 2. Hopefully they don't have another Vial. Unhuman. Now this is where Collected Company would actually be sweet. Opponent runs out. Meddling Mage. What do they name? Wow, name's Pride of the Clouds. Okay. That is Collected Company, though. Well, Flooded Strand. We're so close. Flooded Strand. Crack. Steam Vents tapped. Yeah, I guess actually we gotta pass. We cashed in our food, so we gotta make a food before we can Collected Company. That was actually a good name for our opponent. Opponent. What you got? Ancient Ziggurat. Champion of the Parish. Okay. And do we have Thalia's Lieutenant? Meddling Mage Part 2. On. Empyrean Eagle. Okay. Opponent passing. Well, let's make a food. Untap. Breeding Pool. Tapped. Yeah, we're going to wait. I don't think our opponent can interact with this Collected Company, so we can do it at instant speed. Horizon Canopy. Noble Hierarch. And Mantis Rider. Sure. Opponent grows the dorks. Goes to combat. Let's see how they attack. Mantis Rider Champion. Wow, getting in with everything. All right, well, we will crack the food. Hope for a decent Cocoa here. Collected Company. That's not the worst. Deputy of Detention, Selfless Spirit. Put the rest to the bottom. Deputy. Get rid of Champion of the Parish. Deputies, double block the Pride of the Clouds Meddling Mage. Take our beats. Down to 9. Untap. Play Pride of the Clouds. Pass the turn. Opponent only got 2 cards in hand. And this Blessed Alliance could be very good. What do you got, opponent? Maybe birds just beat humans. Maybe that's something we're learning. Just like the movies. Opponent. Card 1 of 2. Ooh. Deputy. Oh, God. Oh, that's unfortunate and scary. Deputies are deputies. Thankfully, we also have a deputy. To deputy the deputy to get back the deputies. Opponent. Last card. Thalia's Lieutenant to grow the dorks. Out of cards. Out of cards officially. Opponent. Yup. Grows the dorks. Combat. Attacks. Well, we will take 5. Down to 4. We will make a food. Down to 3. We will untap. we will deputy to hit the deputies, to get back the deputies, to get rid of Mantis Rider, to get rid of Champion of the Parish. We will play a Goose. Combat. Hit our opponent for a bunch in the air. Oh, the only problem is if our opponent can get rid of our deputies, this could go very, very wrong. We gotta dodge. We gotta kill our opponent before they draw Reflector Mage or Deputy. Or I guess another, a Phantasmal Image maybe? Opponent. Noble Hierarch, sure. That doesn't kill us. Last card. Oh, nothing to be scared of. Okay, opponent. Gets in with the Meddling Mage. Gets some triggers. We got a block. We will block with a Goose. Untap. Now go to combat. Get in with our flyers. Hit our opponent. Down to 7. Land. Come on. No death. No death. One more. We got to fade one draw. One draw and we should be able to win this game. Opponent. Come on. No way to get rid of our deputy on deputy. Oh, it's so bad if they hit it. Opponent. Combat. Big attack. So this could mean Thalia's Lieutenant. Oh, we will block, 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 block. Opponent vials in Thalia's Lieutenant. So we have to sacrifice Selfless Spirit. Oh, this is so close. So we will sack Waterlog Grove, draw a card. It's a land. Sack a food, gain some life. Untap. Another Pride of Clouds. I'll play Pride of Clouds. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent to 4. Hollowed Fountain tapped. Oh my goodness, this is so ridiculously close. Opponent untaps. What do they draw? Gotta fade. We gotta fade. Opponent. 2 cards. What are they? Oh boy. This thinking is concerning. This has been one of the closest games of Modern I've played in a long time. This has been very close. These deputies are so scary when your opponent also has them. Vials in a 3-drop. Oh! Oh! Oh, they drew it! Why did they slow roll us? Oh, opponent. Wow. Yeah, that is game. Jeez. Deputy gets back all the deputies. And we're dead. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah, okay. Huh. Well, we did not fade long enough. Boy, that was close. Oh, goodness. Alright, much brew about nothing time. We are trying a pretty janky tribe this week. We are playing 5-color birds in Modern. And this hand has birds. Well, actually, technically it doesn't. It has honorary birds. Steam Vents for our opponent. Untapped. Down to 17. And sleight of hand. Alright, so some sort of storm combo, I assume. Seems most likely. Opponent passes. More lands, not great. Well, crack this. Grab a Breeding Pool. Untapped. Mausoleum Wander. Go. Opponent. Watery Grave. Oh, Grixis Death Shadow, maybe? I don't know what's going on. Wishclaw Talisman. Okay. Opponent passes. Well, something unfair is happening. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is a lot of lands for our 19 land deck. Many on the land front. Well, play Pride of Clouds. Not feeling great about where we're at now. I mean, we sort of have a clock, but our opponent has a Wishclaw, and we are just drawing lands for days. Opponent. Down to 14. Well, what combo is our opponent trying to tutor up? Plays an island. Plays another Wishclaw. And passes. Please not a land. Mantis Rider. Well, that is not a land. Flooded Strand. Crack it. Take a Steam Vents. Untapped. I mean, all we could really do is keep running out threats. Mantis Rider. Combat. Hit ya. I mean, technically, we're presenting lethal next turn. I don't know if practically that will actually work. All right, opponent. Let's see it. Let's see what you got with these Wish Claws. Opponent. Wish Claws. We get a Wish Claw. Opponent tutors something. Lotus Field. Oh, they're just going to storm off? So Lotus Field Storm with Wish Claw, apparently. Opponent. Wish Claw Part 2. Ugh, if only this Mausoleum Wanderer was a smidge bigger. Opponent tutors and tutors. Twiddles. Yeah, I think they got us now. Peer Through Depths, Splicing Puppetry. I mean, we'll try to counter it. It doesn't matter. Now we can F6. Oh, close. But yeah, Storm combo, we don't have that much interaction for it. Opponent pays. Ideas Unbound. And, I mean, I guess we sit here for 10 or 15 minutes. It's not deterministic that our opponent wins. Unfortunately, there's like a 95% probability or so that they win. And it's increasing rapidly as they cast more spells. But we can't technically scoop at this point, unfortunately. Like, it is possible our opponent just hits all lands or something. It's not... Once they cast a Past in Flames, then we will concede. Okay, Past in Flames. Now that they can reuse our graveyard, it's officially over. So, alright. What do we have that can actually fight against Storm combo? The answer is... literally nothing. Oh, boy. Oh! Oh, this is not what we wanted to see when we looked at the sideboard of this deck. Good God. Oh, this has got to be... Okay, well, yeah. Twiddlestorm does not seem to be a matchup we were hoping to face with this deck. we have very close to nothing. We get two, like, semi-okay counters, but in reality, we have almost nothing that is going to stop our opponent's deck. And our opponent's keeping 7. I think our best bet was probably our opponent mulliganing a bunch. As sad as it is to say, like, I think that was our potential pathway to victory, is our opponent just kind of like having a clunky hand, which does happen with the deck our opponent's playing. Opponent Watery Grave. Serum Visions. So now all we could really do is try to put a clock on our opponent and pray to the magic gods. That is... I think that's it. Well, Horizon Canopy, run out Empyrean Eagle. Pass the turn. Opponent. Come on, birds. You gotta be fast. Opponent passes. Well, play Flooded Strand. Crack Flooded Strand. Take a Steam Vents. Untapped. Gilded Goose. White, blue, white. Empyrean Eagle. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent. I mean, we got a clock. This is not a bad start. We have a lot of power on the battlefield. Not lethal power for next turn, but... Ooh, we gotta hope they don't have Lotus Field, I guess. Opponent cracks. Island. Cycles Lonely Sandbar. Yep. Untaps. Opponent. Steam Vents tapped. And passes... Well, we're not dead yet. Ooh. Oh, man. I think we got to go for it. Blue, white, red. That's actually a good draw. Mantis Rider. Combat. This is lethal if our opponent can't interact. Opponent can interact. And now we're nowhere close to lethal. Oh! Force of Negation can only cast it for free at our opponent's turn. Well, we gave it a good shot there. We put our opponent to the test. They had to have the Echoing Truth, and they did. Now we are several turns away from winning. At least 2 more. There's a Lotus Field. Yeah. Sack some stuff. Peer Through Depths. Sure. Gets a Twiddle. Yeah, I mean, this is all we can do. Get rid of the Twiddle. But we're back to not really having... We don't have a winning clock. We don't have interaction. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just have to hope they can't kill us. Run out Empyrean Eagle. Yeah, this feels like just such a tough matchup. Go to combat. Swing in for 6. And, I mean, hope that somehow our opponent's deck, which is Designed to win as soon as Lotus Field hits a battlefield. Can't win with a Lotus Field on the battlefield. Yeah, we don't really have Storm sideboard cards, which kind of makes sense because Storm isn't really a major part of the meta. We're more geared towards fighting Urza, which is a huge part of the meta. But that means when you run into a Storm deck, you're just kind of out of luck. Yeah, here comes the combo. Thing in the Ice. Opponent casts a Dream Grip. Untap, makes extra mana. Follow-up is Psychic Puppetry. Untaps, counter off Thing in the Ice. 3 cards in hand. What may they be? Red mana. Grape Shot. Okay. I don't think our opponent necessarily realized that if they can flip Thing in the Ice, they kill us with Grape Shot. Maybe they have 2. Oh, okay. Sure. Grape Shot, Grape Shot. So opponent was just doing a little rub-in, and we will scoop it up. All right, well, we were not built for that matchup, that's for sure. Oh, birds, 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 birds. So what do we learn this week about 5-color birds in Modern? And all in all, video-wise, we went 2-3, which doesn't sound that bad, but if you really look into how the performance went, it was a lot worse than that. So what happened with 5-color birds is I sat down to record the video, fired up a league, promptly went 1-3, and I was like, all right, let's try this again. I'll start over, brand new league, we'll count that as a learning experience. Maybe I'll play better, I don't know, maybe things will go better, whatever, let's try one more. So I jumped into another league, and I went 1-3 again, and then I was like, all right, I guess that's just how good I am at winning with birds, is we're about a 1-3 consistently with the deck. So overall, even though we were 2-3 in videos, it was a 1-3 and a 1-3 in 2 separate leagues, and then I just kind of mashed them together so you could kind of get a sense of what the deck is trying to do. So I think if we delve into this deck, the biggest problem we ran into, I guess there's kind of 2 problems really. Problem number 1, unfair decks. We're an aggro deck that doesn't have that much disruption, but we also don't have that fast of a clock. With a good draw, maybe like turn 4 we can win, when turn 5 is probably more likely. So we're aggro, we're not disruptive, but we're not going to race like Twiddlestorm, for example, or Devoted Vizier, like those style of decks. It's unlikely if those combo decks get a decent draw that we're actually going to be able to beat them. The other problem we ran into was kind of the other side of the scale against like Grixis Death Shadow, for example, a deck that could just Fatal Push and Coal against command and Thought Seize away our board, stick one massive threat and ride it to victory. So really removal heavy decks were a problem. And then really unfair decks were a problem. Although I will say we did win a couple of games and we put up some really good fights. Even in our loss against like Grixis Death Shadow against humans, those were some really close, down to the wire 3-game matches that were really back and forth. Arguably like with a little bit tighter play, a little bit more luck, whatever, we could have snuck out a victory there. So it felt like we were close to doing significantly better with the deck, but really 2-6 overall across 2 leagues, that's not a very exciting performance for a deck. So as far as why would you play this deck? I think that's the biggest question. Like, why would you play 5-color birds? We often talk about competitive advantage with tribal decks, and even though birds isn't technically a tribal deck, it's close enough. And I think the competitive advantage of 5-color birds would be it's evasive. Like, all of your creatures have flying, which means opponents that are trying to play defense on the ground are really going to struggle with the deck. The problem is that's also kind of what spirits do. Spirits also get all flying creatures, but spirits also get a bunch of disruptive creatures with spell quellers and rattle chains and just like all this tricky taxi type stuff that birds don't get. And they're only 3 colors most of the time, or even 2 colors in some cases. So you don't have the 5-color mana that can be painful. So it's really hard for me to figure out why I would play 5-color birds from a competitive perspective. This is like, I'm trying to win a league or trying to win a GP. Why would I play this over spirits? I don't really have an answer for that. I'm not sure what this does better than spirits. So that's kind of one concern. However, if we're just looking to improve this deck, I would probably start with the sideboard. I feel like for what the deck is, 5-color bird tribal, I feel like the main deck is pretty solid, but there are a couple of things I would change. First off, we got no removal. We got no removal in the main deck, period. I guess we got Brazen Borrower for bounce, but maybe some Path to Exiles, even the greediest tribal decks, tend to find room for a few Path to Exiles. We ran into trouble with that against humans, against Death Shadow. They just stick a big Death Shadow and like, alright, if you got Team or Battle Rage, we're dead, because we don't have a way to kill it. And even after sideboard, our removal is Blessed Alliance, which, it is kind of removal, but it's a little hit or miss. Deputy Detention, it is removal, but as we saw against humans, if it gets removed, everything comes back. So Path to Exile somewhere, preferably in the main deck a few copies, but somewhere I think is really, really necessary. The other change I would make is the sideboard. The sideboard to me is just a little bit maybe too focused on Urza style decks. I feel like Collector Roof, Deputy Detention, kind of like Urza-esque cards, and also a bunch of life gain with Life Goes On and Blessed Alliance. Maybe it's just the matchups that we hit, although we played almost 2 full leagues with that. Maybe it was just our matchups, but I felt like the deck was really lacking stuff in unfair matchups. Like when we ran into Twiddlestorm and went to sideboarding, we didn't really feel like we had much to bring in. Yes, we get a Force of Negation number 3. We get a Disdainful Stroke, kind of. But in a matchup like that, where our opponent's playing an unfair combo deck, we just really don't have a lot going on in our main deck or in our sideboard, and our clock isn't fast enough to really race. So I feel like that could be another place to look for. Path to Exile, probably in the main deck. And then sideboard-wise, maybe some Graveyard Hate would be helpful. Maybe some Damping Sphere type effects, Rule of Law type effects, Eidolon of Rhetoric. Something to slow down unfair combo decks, which I feel like we're just really lacking. So, I don't know. I think it's a really cool idea. It's awesome that you get to play Gilded Goose and just like honk at your opponent every round if you want to. So I like the flavor of the deck. And 5-color birds is just like such a sweet idea, but competitively, it kind of feels like Bad Spirits. But if you do pick it up, make those changes. Path to Exile somewhere, more stuff for unfair matchups in the sideboard, and I think that would go a long way because, like I said, even though our record was, I guess, bad, like overall, there's not really any way to sugarcoat it. Our record was not good. Like I said, we were really close in a lot of matchups, and it felt like a card or two could have shifted things in another direction, or maybe even just like tighter play on my part could have shifted things in another direction. So we were close to having a much better record, even though it didn't work out. So anyway, that's 5-color birds for Modern. That's been our much Abrew deck for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Honk honk. And I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.